So now we'll move on to Jen, who will talk with us about starting a garden journal. Jen, over to you, and I'll mute.
Thank you, Mark. Those pictures were inspiring. So starting a garden journal, why it's important. If you're like myself, I have many different garden areas. So a garden journal can map perennials, indoor plants, new plantings, and then of course your vegetable garden as well. The 3-ring binder is what I have landed on. That's particularly helpful, especially when you're working with a vegetable garden. You want to have all of that varietal data, the maturation time, the period of time until fruiting, and just it gives you that brief overview of the conditions that are most favorable for the vegetables. And keeping all of that information in your mind at all times just isn't really feasible. So having a quick resource guide that you can refer to is very, very helpful. Also, I use it myself for when I want to add color. So as gardeners, I think we all see beautiful flowers in the spring, and we need a place to put them. We want to add some more pizzazz to our garden. But you also know that you have only a limited amount of space. So I've also definitely used pictures. You want to see how the garden looks when it's in full bloom. It helps you identify where you have space, and particularly for me, I like to have color throughout the season. So if I have a period of time where there isn't something blooming, I know this is the type of plant that I'm looking for, and I know exactly where to put it. So the first thing that I did when I started my garden journal was to just map out my space. You need to become aware of the amount of light you're getting in the different gardens that you have. In my particular backyard, we are in Virginia, right? We have a wonderful amount of wooded areas. So the dimensions of my yard and my potential garden space changes as the canopy leaves out. So by noting, and it's good to note spring sunshine amounts through the entire growing season. Just take a quick notation of that, the size of your garden plot, what established plantings that you have, trees, that sort of thing. Again, if they're going to leaf out, how much shade is that going to confer to the surrounding beds? And then choosing groupings appropriately based on proclivities such as acid loving, shade, annuals, that sort of thing. And of course, it helps you to organize your garden in just a little more purposeful and thoughtful way. Indoor plants. Gardeners are gardeners inside and outside. So I have many inside plants. What I have taken to do recently is to print out, identify the plant, print out a sheet that's specific to that plant, gives you all of the information, common problems, blights that may be typical with this plant. It also gives you methods of control. I love to do this when I move plants throughout the house. You can note, do they thrive in this corner? Do they need extra light? Certainly with repotting and dividing, when did you do that last? Again, you think you'll remember, but often you don't. And so it's nice to know, I divided this plant 3 years ago, it's probably time. A crucial part of the garden journal is for sowing seeds indoors. I know that we have done this many years, and once you germinate those seeds, very difficult to tell them apart. So having all of those seed packets, noting all the data, when did they sprout, the seed company that you use. That's very helpful to know, do I want to buy seeds from this company again? Were they successful? Noting when they should be on mark for certain thresholds. They need to be hardened off when you start to move them outside, and then helping you identify and keep track of your harvest time frame. And the last part, of course, is journaling is fun. We all love to have a successful, beautiful garden, and keeping all that information in your mind can prove a little difficult. And in this way, particularly with the 3-ring binder, you can add and subtract things as you need. You can use clear plastic dividers to add pictures, which I have found particularly helpful. I love seeing the progression of a new garden, how it went from being maybe more spare to lush and filled out. And then also to track your vegetable data, having pictures of your beautiful eggplants or your beautiful cucumber, and then being able to reference back, that was this seed company, or I got these plants from this particular nursery and they were very successful. You'll want to refer to that again and again, and it's a wonderful way to just track your progress and see how far your garden has come along. This is a terrible picture, but the beginnings of this year's new sprout data, and I have many more pages of these because we are trying maybe 16 different tomatoes this year. So, but without the journal, I would not be able to keep track of this information. So we find it very, very helpful, and I think you will too.